So welcome everybody to the community session this week. Great to see everyone. My name is Andrew Carson. I'm a growth team lead here at Vendasta.
Andrew, what do you think of my new background?
I like it. It still looks like you're in a pool, but looks like you're in a digital pool. So
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
It's not about me, it's about the background.
Hey, what happens if I scan that QR code?
That's a great question. Why don't you try it?
I'm a little bit scared. I don't know, Kathy, should I do that?
Do it.
Do it. Kathy, get on it. Get doing it too. Everybody on the call today has got to do it.
All right.
All right.
Probably
Let me
docs
see.
all of Vendasta.
Okay. Let me see here.
I know it works because I tested it. So.
Yep.
Oh, it brought me to 50 free calls. What was that?
No, it didn't.
I'm just kidding. It brought me to Bullseye Digital.agency.
That's right, baby.
Tell him, Tim.
Just launched the new site.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a labor of love.
Yeah.
You should look at this call to action.
You like that scroll up banner?
That's nice.
That's sweet,
nice.
Isn't it? That's what I want. I want people to fill that bad boy out.
Yeah.
That's slick, man.
I like that.
And it doesn't auto initiate the snapshot report. It only initiates the dashboard, the business app access.
Cool.
Got it.
So I can sell the snapshot report.
So what's your process there then? Get them to create an account. Well, get their free business app.
Yeah.
So they get all the local business online toolkit products.
Yeah.
And then you reach out to them, make sure they're comfortable getting on board, and then you pitch the analysis.
Well, what I do is I reach out to them. I get them to connect their accounts on a Zoom call.
Nice.
And then I show them the power of the business app, the dashboard, and then we talk about the store and all the services, and maybe the snapshot report is an option, or maybe it's more, whatever they need, right? It's just a needs analysis after that.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. We'll see how it goes. I got my first one today from Hungary. Someone filled out the business app widget.
Oh.
So I'm not sure how that happened, but it looks like they're from India too. So I have a feeling it might be someone internal just checking it out.
Maybe, not sure. Well,
yeah.
I like what you said though, Tim, with, the first thing that you do is you do a video call with them to help them connect stuff.
Yeah, it's all about the whole secret of this business is the business app. That's why I've focused everything around that.
And
did you go to the services tab, Andrew, and check out my marketplace?
No, I'll go there right now.
You can see how I branded all the products and how everything is streamlined. Yeah.
Hey, I sent you a message last week prior to call. Did you get it from me? This is Robert.
Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry. I've been just super packed busy. But if you want to go on the website and schedule another call, what works for you, that'd be great.
All right, cool. Cool beans.
Yeah.
Nice. And I guess what I wanted to say was we see a much, much higher conversion rate whenever the clients engage. So I'm totally with you there, and Keegan's probably helped you out there with that.
Not only conversion rate, but retention rate, I think, also improves.
Totally.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big problem with our industry is retention rate suffers. But I mean, I'm only charging $99 a year for the business app after the first year is free, right? So that's nothing. But if you get enough of those, that'll float your business, right?
Yeah.
With the automation and the billing and that. I've set it up in my store under the business category. You can see that I have the business app in there and someone can order it right there, put it in their cart, put their credit card in. I mean, it's the only way to do this business and keep control of everything. It's just mayhem. It's so crazy how to manage this business. It's insane.
Tim, I have a question. Are you charging for support?
No.
That's a good question.
I'm making my money on what kind of support. There really shouldn't be much support. If they have questions or they need a hand, I'll give them a hand because it's in my best interest to sell them services, right? Especially if they're already paying me money every month, then I have no problem. But I don't find that that's a big issue, right?
Okay.
But I do have an hourly rate for the websites. So a call is on the websites tab. You can see my call rate is there. So, I mean, if I have to charge it out, I can.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
Can
mean,
you see it on the big screen, Kathy?
What's that, Tim?
I say, can you see it on the big screen? Do you have a big monitor? You're looking at my store there? Or?
Oh yeah, I have it. I just looked at your phone. I mean, on my phone. I'll go and
Yeah, it looks a little bit. The website looks a lot better on a big monitor.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's got a nice banner and it's got nice theming and stuff, and the store looks really great too.
No, and I mean, from what I saw, and I love that little pop out with the call to action. That's great.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Now I got to figure out a way to promote it and get leads coming in. So that's what I'm working on now.
Nice.
What
are you going to do? Are you going to do like a SEO and SEM strategy, Tim?
I'm starting with blogging. So the first blog will go live February 1st. And everything I'm doing is through Vendasta. So it gets me able to learn the services and how the mechanics work of it all so I can sell it, right?
Totally.
So the first blog has already been ordered and we've already had the consult call on it. And I'm doing it every month and I'm going to start there. And then I might ramp up the blogging or I might go straight to digital ads. And I talked to Trent about this, maybe doing AdWords or Facebook campaign.
Yeah.
I'm still mulling how I'm going to attack it because it's a pretty big investment, right?
Well, it's really cool that you're doing that strategy because that's kind of what we were going to talk about today with Brock and Trent. But yeah, before you get into that, you know, I kind of wanted to bring that up and maybe to the group here, you know, who is doing SEO plus SEM together? You know, there's a really good strategy around doing SEO. So, you know, SEO and digital ads together. Because digital ads, you're really just renting space and you're constantly paying for it. You're always going to be paying for those keywords. But if you do them together, you know, SEO can be ramping up while your digital ads are buying those keywords. So you can be bringing in those leads right away, and SEO can be ramping up, and then you can focus on those important keywords or those high conversion or those high value keywords. Is anybody using a strategy like that?
We do, Andrew.
Nice.
Yeah, at Navarro Creative Group.
I probably will use a strategy like that for my company, but I find my customers, they have a hard time paying for SEM and SEO because it just gets so pricey, right?
Yeah. Wendy, would you mind speaking to kind of how you manage that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we truly believe in the fact. I apologize. I got to get my teammate over here to turn down the music. We're listening to monkeys, so. Anyway, but what we do is we really believe that organic growth is super important. So we focus a whole lot on the organic online content, blogging consistently. And then what we do is we amplify what we blog about on the social platforms. And then we will put money behind those. And then we'll do some spends. So we have package pricing for our clients. We've really just moved to that this year, whereas before we were doing project pricing. And people, you know, it's a little harder to, like, for us to say, okay, not only are we going to do your website, we're going to do your SEM, your SEO, we're going to do all this stuff, and we're going to charge you on a monthly fee retainer to get all this done. But when you really think about it and you talk it through and you put it down on paper, it makes perfect sense that you're able to provide a better service for your customer. Because just providing a website for a customer, we do a great job on our website builds, but if they're not going to keep up with it, it's not going to do them any good. So it's really important as far as we're concerned. I
like that. And you and I, we've chatted a little bit about, you know, packages and solutions, but that's a great way to scale too.
Yeah, it's the only way I think that we are going to do it to scale, because we just, you know, and we're really niching in on a particular demographic as well. So,
Andrew, actually, I have a question. I want to let you know that my website was done by Vendasta. You guys did all of it. I had my graphic designer help out with some of the branding stuff. But I'm curious, Wendy, how does your strategy work for your lead gen? How many leads are you generating for your business
well,
every month with this strategy?
Yeah, so with this current strategy, we just started this current strategy with, as far as the niching or as far as the strategy of helping a recurring income or SEO, SEM?
No, yeah, using the SEO and the
Oh.
and the amplification with Facebook or whatever you're doing digitally.
Yeah, we've always done that because we think that organically you have to have a strong foundation, but the only way to expand on organic is to put some money behind it. So our clients really don't have a problem with it. We definitely don't oversell them. We will start, it's like with a website, we'll walk them through with the website. Then we'll say, hey, look, we need to make sure that you're amplifying your website. We don't want just a billboard, right? So let's amplify your website with some dollars behind it. We really get to know their goals. So we do a whole customer analysis and where they want to be.
Yeah. And do you do this strategy for your own business? Do you drive leads to your company as well with this?
You know, we do. We have we've been able to grow our business pretty well through word of mouth. We've never really did any marketing or advertising for ourselves until this year or till the end of last year. And we've grown to, you know, easily 6 figures, you know, going into the 200 range. So, yeah. So cool. It's just one of those things, but we know in order to scale even more, we really have to have that recurring revenue. And in our opinion too, we have to be able to have a expertise. So that's why we're niching in. We're going to keep our legacy clients because they're the ones, let's face it, who are bringing our money in on a regular basis right now. But we do want to be able to have a focused expertise so that we can do an exceptional job for that particular arena.
Yeah, cool.
I really like that. And one thing too that I know you've been investing in, Wendy, is systems and processes.
Yes.
So that you can then scale. You know, that's part of the fundamental and foundation, so that you get that going, and then you can really scale up too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that next to our, you know, payroll, our systems and our software is our second biggest expense.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing, Wendy. Really appreciate it. It's great. It's great to see you.
You too.
And Tim, thanks for sharing too. So Tim Pringle, guys, we gave some love to Robert Davis at Core Unlimited last week. He launched his website. Let's give some love to Tim Pringle. If you have a QR scanner, you can scan his QR code. I was hesitant at the beginning, see what was going to show up, but you know what? I did it. I landed right on his website, so give it a go. And Tim, thanks for posting the link to your website in the chat as well. So to the community members, let's give them some love today. Give them some SEO juice and give it a visit.
Yeah, and I highly recommend, if none of you guys have used Vendasta's marketing services team for a website yet, you should give it a go, even if it's just a landing page, just so you can see how they do it. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Love that shout out, and love that you had a good experience, Tim. And I want to give a shout out to Thomas McMillan. If you guys haven't seen his Fired Up Fridays, you gotta follow him. You gotta check him out on LinkedIn. I'm gonna share my screen right now, and I want to just take a minute and a half here to watch his share today, because last week Kathy challenged everyone to share videos online, and I think everyone said, "Hey, I'm down for the challenge." I didn't see any links in the Conquer Local community session group this week, but I saw this one posted today, and I want to share it so that so we can see what's going on out there. Thomas does a great job of this. Hopefully you guys can see it and you can hear it.
Who's that special customer success person that helps you and your business achieve your goals? Hey everybody, I'm Thomas McMillan, and today is Fired Up Friday. Folks, I'm wearing a hoodie today, but that's because I've got to squeeze a workout in right after I film this, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. All right, for the customer success person, Katie Salmers. She is a fantastic customer success person who I work with from Vendasta. It's a software as a service provider that helps my agency. And let me tell you, I've worked with a lot of SaaS providers over my years with different marketing tech stack tools. And she is fantastic. I'm really appreciative of how she helps me achieve my goals, helps me with automation, and she just does a fantastic job. And it's a testament to her company, who puts a lot of emphasis on customer success. So kudos to you, Katie. You're firing me up on this Fired Up Friday. So my question to everyone today: Who's that special customer success person that fires you up, that helps you achieve your goals? Let us know in the comments below who they are. Folks, I'm Thomas McMillan. It's Fired Up Friday. I'm about to go get a workout in. Have a great weekend, y'all.
Thomas, that was awesome. I love the energy that you bring, man.
Still wearing a t-shirt.
You got your workout in. Now you're in a t-shirt. Hey, that's awesome. So you guys got to check out his Fired Up Friday. And just like he said, add somebody in the comments of his post, please. Somebody that has really helped you be successful, you know, whether it's a Vendastian or somebody else. I find a lot of value in just being grateful and leading in that way. Thomas, you want to say anything before we continue? And I have a question for you actually, Thomas. You've been doing this for a while. You've been doing this for quite a long time, and I check them out every Friday, and you're always very, very energetic. You want to just comment on making these videos or anything you want to say before we move on?
You know, the big thing is this is a digital extension of something that I've always done. So like I used to work for Lowe's.com, and, you know, we had probably like 300-400 people on our floor, you know, developing all that type of stuff. And I used to run through the department, giving everybody high fives and go, you know, and whatever our big goal was that week. And so like when the pandemic hit, I was like, what can I do to uplift other people and kind of bring that energy that I've always kind of done into a digital world? So that's what it is. And I just think of something. I usually think of it Thursday night and then get up in the morning, drink 2 cups of coffee, and then I get to filming.
2 cups of coffee might be the secret ingredient to get you fired up. Well, that's awesome. So keep it going. Let's show Thomas McMillan some love, and post somebody in the comments. I would love to see whoever everyone finds.
I just want to say well done, Thomas, because I've totally copied you. I've ripped you off, man. I do a badass Monday now, and
I like it.
Brilliant. It's I love just the pure, unfiltered. You just give a shout out, give gratitude, give a bit of recognition, and see when you include people, it's fantastic because they share it with other people, and it just gets it all going. It's great. Well done. Great idea, man.
Thank you.
That is awesome. Keep it up, and you know, Steven, you keep it up. Let's have a look at yours next week, and everybody else, you know, post that content. Just, you know, keep at it. A lot of these strategies, they take a while to keep going, but you get into those effective habits and really good things happen. And, you know, Thomas, thank you for the shout out for Katie. And that segues into the next thing that I want to move into. Naresh, are you on the line here?
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, nice. Hey, Naresh. Oh, your name is Arnima Dar here. I'll change that. You guys have met
weird.
Arnima before, but I'll change that up. So we have Naresh on the line. He's our director of success. Naresh, you want to say anything about Katie? You know, she's on your team, and then you can reveal, and then you can talk a little bit about the big release that you did this week. Go ahead. You have the floor.
You bet. I do have a couple slides, but I don't think I have. I can present here. Okay, give me a second. It's like first day on the job.
And if you wouldn't mind doing an introduction for the community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know if you guys can see that.
Got it there.
I'll turn this price. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, my name is Naresh. I'm the Director of Partner Success here at Vendasta. I actually just celebrated my 6-year anniversary at Vendasta. So I've had the pleasure of working with a few of you already before. I see a couple names I recognize, Robert Davis, Mitchell, so really good to see you guys. So I'm actually here to proudly announce a big milestone for us in the success department. And you may have already caught this already because we've had a few releases on social media as well as in the resource center. But now we have all Vendasta subscriptions have access to 24/7 support now. So it's something that we've been working really hard on behind the scenes over the past year. I'm sure many of you maybe have accidentally discovered that after hours you can connect with a live person, and now we're making it official. So you can connect with our help desk at any time on your preferred channel of communication. So that could be over the phone, over live chat, email. We love doing screen shares as well. And this really marks a big step forward for us in Vendasta becoming a truly global company. So we're really excited about it. So we're here, we're working in your business hours. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can connect with us. So it's the same kind of thing, sales support, billing support, platform support, as well as technical support. We do have a team of web specialists that are also here and ready to help. I'm sure you're all familiar with how to reach our team, but just in case, there's a big help button in the platform that'll let you call or start a live chat or submit a ticket. You can also email request to support@vendasta.com. And in our resource center, you can also submit requests there via form. So that's really the main announcement I had for you. If you do have any questions or feedback around our 24/7 support team, feel free to reach out to me. My email's listed here, and labar@vendasta.com. And next week, I also wanted to just let you guys know that I will be returning and doing a little bit of a takeover with the community session, just to talk about how our teams can best work together to support you and your customers with Vendasta. So that was it for me.
Awesome. That is fantastic, Naresh. I know you guys have been working hard, and it's going to make a big difference. Anybody have a few words they want to say to Naresh? Maybe your experience working with a success team or anything?
I do. Naresh, is it possible? Do I just send you an email if I want to book a meeting with you, or?
Yeah, sure. Shoot me an email. We'll figure it out.
That'd be great.
Nice. Mitchell, I can see that you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just want to, Naresh, I worked with him since he started at Vendasta, I'm pretty sure. He's like my first partner success guy. So now I got Andrew. So I wish I always started with the best and I got to the worst, I guess. Just kidding, Andrew. This is,
burn.
I texted Michael Watkins yesterday, Naresh, when I got the email about 24/7 support. I was like, I texted Michael, I was like, this is awesome. I've been wanting this. So thank you guys. That's a really cool game changer.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitchell. Mike Gorza, really quickly, I see that you've unmuted. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, just the other day, I was promising a prospect who became a client because they wanted to know if they can call anytime 24 hours. I said, absolutely. And I'm like, damn, now I got to be at the phone, or pick up the phone in the middle of the night.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the feedback, Mitchell and Mike, and Naresh, congratulations. Looking forward to continuing to support our partners. Be successful. All right, and we'll catch up with Naresh next week. So that's what you can expect. A little behind the curtain. We'll be chatting with him next week. All right, so I want to talk about a couple of things, and then we're going to get to our guest today. I'm going to share my screen here. So really quickly. Thank you, Thomas. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the promotion that we have going on, because I've seen a lot of really good engagement, and I just want to talk about it a little bit more and where you can find this information. So we have the Head Start promo for 2021. We have many vendors. Big shout out to Michael Watkins, who worked with so many people, collaborated with so many teams to make this happen. And so where can you find some of this information and engage with these vendors to help you, grow, to help you close more business, to help you get more products and services to your clients to increase that retention and that monthly recurring revenue that we all know and want to grow so much. So if you go into the Conquer Local Academy, you can go into groups, and whenever it loads here, we'll see the Head Start 2021 group. Where are we here? Head Start 2021. You can join the group, and then within discussions here, we have a thread with each vendor. Oh, just see if it reloads here. So we have a discussion with each vendor. You'll be able to quickly identify them with their logo there. So hop into a thread. I know that the local ads thread here has been quite popular. So if we jump into that, you'll see quite a bit of conversation. And this is a great place to engage with the vendors directly, tell them about opportunities, book them onto some meetings. You know, everybody is here to help you be successful. And this is a great way to kick things off in 2021. We know if we start things at a rapid pace early on in the year, we're going to be, all of that compounds, and we're going to be in a much greater place towards the end of the year. So let's make January, February, March, let's make Q1 a really powerful year, and let's really drive those sales home and engage with the vendors there. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. So now I want to move on to our presenters here. And so maybe a quick blurb for folks who are just joining us today, maybe for the first time, but welcome to the Conquer Local Community Sessions. You know, we record each session and then we post the recording into the threads directly in the community session group. So check out the threads, you'll see the recordings in there so you can catch any past episodes. There's a few pages. We're on, I think, about week 40 here. And one thing that I wanted to start mentioning every week as well is one of the reasons why we have these sessions is so that partners, just like yourselves, can connect with other partners. You know, connect with like-minded business owners so that you can have those street-level conversations. You can talk about opportunities. We have a lot of partners who are connecting and who are supporting each other on opportunities and who are making a lot of money doing that. And so, so a couple of ways that you can do that. You know, you could post in the community, post in the thread. Also, you know, post in the chat during the conversations. If you like what somebody says, you know, reach out to them directly. You can send them a private message, or you can, you know, share your LinkedIn in there and you can make those connections. So really want to encourage you folks to be connecting with other partners and opening up those conversations. That's what the community is all about. And, you know, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over or introduce our guests here. So put in the chat. Make sure that let's make sure that everybody knows where the chat is. Maybe type in where you're calling in from, and type in yes if you saw an announcement for the 300-page fundamental guide to lead generation. Did you guys see that go out today? Awesome. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And without me just rambling on anymore, I want to introduce the gentleman who is responsible for creating this guide, and then the other gentleman who has helped amplify this, and we can learn from them today about how it went and the process that they go through. So, Brock Andoni, are you there?
Sure am, yeah.
Right on. And Trent Walker, you there? Mic check.
Check, check, check. Yeah, here.
I gotta tell you guys, these two fellas are just hilarious. Did you guys dress up the same on purpose today?
No, Trent didn't get the Turtleneck Friday memo, so.
Brock's always trying to copy me.
Oh, you guys. All right, so I mean, I don't want to take up any more time. Brock, would you mind just doing an introduction, who you are, what you do at Vendasta, your experience, and then you can get right into, I don't know if you have a presentation or you just want to share the guide, but speak to your process and with your content creation with the guide, and then we'll get into it with Trent, who is our head of PPC, and we can talk about amplifying content. So take it away, Brock.
Awesome. Yeah, we actually put together a decent set of slides for you folks today. So I'll share my screen here if I can figure out how. Not very good with Zoom. All right. You got that there?
We can see it there.
Perfect. So I guess we'll make it our goal here today to bring about half as much knowledge as Wendy and maybe a quarter as much energy as Thomas. But yeah, so take most of what we say today with a grain of salt, because we're just a couple of 24-year-old kids, so we don't really know what we're doing. But we're going to run you guys through the syndication process that we went through with this guide. So yeah, my name's Brock Andoni, and I'm a content marketing strategist here at Vendasta. I've been kicking around for about 3 years now. Trent and I actually both started as interns back in 2018. And Trent departed for a time, but I stuck around part-time and have been working full-time since last April when I graduated school. Throughout that tenure, I've been in about 4 different teams, I think, and I've worked everything from corporate and branding strategy to demand gen to now mostly a focus on content demand gen. So that's mostly my background. I'll let Trent introduce himself.
Yeah, so I came back after my internship here about 6 or so months ago, back by popular demand. They were basically begging me to come and help Brock out because he just wasn't pulling the chain by himself. So that's and so I got hired on to be the head of, or to be on the PPC team, and kind of adopted the role of head of PPC. So my job is to fill up the sales pipeline. Before that, I was kind of running some digital ad campaigns and doing some digital marketing fulfillment for some local businesses around Saskatoon. So I kind of had my own little agency, nothing to the scale of your guys's, but I have a little bit of experience in your guys' shoes. And clearly comedians. Yeah, that's the evening job.
Yeah, so fun fact about Trent is he actually gave himself that title. That's not official. So let's just keep that in mind. So we also have this nickname at Vendasta from way back in 2018. They used to call us Trock because they couldn't get our names straight. So they just went with Trock whenever Trent and I were around. But what people don't realize is that we're really kind of that 80-20 rule when it comes to like the division of labor. It's always 80% me and 20% Trent, but somehow Trent seems to get 80% of the credit. So we got to work on that.
It's because I have the face of the company.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'll tell you guys a little bit about the lead gen guide story here. So basically what this is we created a big rock, and I'm going to get a little bit more into what exactly a big rock is. But this was months in the making. This was, I think I started writing it back in August of 2020, and it took about 3 months to write, a little over a month to design, and we had it pretty much all ready to go middle of December. But what we decided was that based on the timing, we weren't going to have the impact that we could have. We would just get drowned out in all the other Christmas noise. So we decided to hold off and wait for the full launch in the new year when we could drive a larger impact. But what we did do in the meantime is we launched a holiday teaser ad campaign on social. So this was largely based around LinkedIn, and this is when Trent and I really started working together on this project. So what we did is we fired up some conversation ads, which basically act as direct mail messages from us, as well as sponsored posts on LinkedIn. And we were just advertising the first chapter of the guide as a sneak peek to the full guide. And we generated a ton of leads at a really, really great cost per lead. And Trent will get into that a little bit more as we go. But yeah, it was a really successful trial. And then we published the full length guide last Thursday. And we've since switched all of our campaigns over to full length, and we've just begun, syndicating it across the universe. So PPC was step 1, and then we started getting into all the other tactics that we generally deploy here.
Brock, do you want to touch on why we kind of did the teaser before we did the full guide, what the strategy behind that was, just with like the timing of Christmas and stuff?
Yeah. We were just worried about the Christmas noise, right? Like we could have launched it, and we also thought that with people looking more towards their 2021 planning in January, that it'd be a really opportune time to get in there and like kind of spark that conversation around lead generation. Because like as we found in our research, 61% of marketers claim lead generation as their top challenge, which is, it's pretty ironic, right? That's kind of their jobs, but it's also their top challenge. So we figured that getting in with everybody's 2021 planning would be a really great opportunity for us. So what is the lead generation guide? So it sounds like lots of you have seen it, maybe even perused it a little bit, which is great. So it's almost a 300-page guide. It details 39 lead generation tactics, and some of them in painful detail. But what we tried to do is make it really, really actionable so that you could take this guide and use it as an actual handbook to build a lead generation strategy. So yeah, it was a 4-month creative process, and we've hit record-breaking cost per leads on LinkedIn. So I believe before this guide, we were averaging, I think it was like $185 cost per lead on like our best campaign on LinkedIn. Is that right?
Yeah, anywhere from like $190 to about $270 for one lead on LinkedIn.
And what did we hit with the teaser campaign on average?
Yeah, we got around about $45 to $55 per lead.
Yeah, so we absolutely demolished our previous records on LinkedIn. So super successful there. Yeah, we generated 1,300 plus SQLs in less than a month. And I think total leads that we generated is north of 2,000 right now. So it's been super successful already. So table of contents for what we're going to talk about today. So first, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on what's a big rock and why we are going to start creating more of them here. Then I'm going to pass it off to Trent for the content and ad relationship. And then I'm going to give you guys some additional syndication tactics that we like to deploy here. So what's a big rock? So essentially a big rock is just a really substantial piece of content. So it often takes the shape of a definitive guide, and the idea is it's supposed to be an all-encompassing asset. So you have a topic like lead generation. For a guide to be a big rock on lead generation, it should cover almost every aspect of lead generation, right? There should be no doubt that when it comes to that topic, that guide covers it. So they generally manifest themselves as gated assets, because when you create something of such high value, you're going to want to protect it and request some contact information at the very least before you're willing to share that information. And they're always buyer and customer facing. So they're hyper targeted based on your customer profiles is really the idea behind these. And I'll get a little bit more into that later as well. So you guys might know some of our big rocks that we've published over the past few years, recognize a few of these titles here. It looks like I got some really low res graphics, so apologies for that. But these are some of our big rocks that we've produced over the last couple years. So what are the goals of a big rock? So the first one is to own a broad topic in many conversations. So the idea being with the lead generation guide, that lead generation is the broad topic that we are targeting. But then within lead generation, all of those chapters within it are conversations that we're seeking to own. So in chapter 1, social media marketing, we want to own the social media marketing conversation. But furthermore, we want to own the Facebook ads conversation as well, right? So what the Big Rock does is it builds a foundation for which you can actually begin to dominate those conversations and make yourself that kind of thought leader in those spaces. And it really creates an anchor for future content as well. So with this, we published the Big Rock, but I also rolled out a blog strategy surrounding this. So we're parsing this Big Rock into 42 different blogs that we're going to campaign on organic throughout the entire 2021 fiscal year. So this is going to run us for weeks and weeks. And then obviously you want to generate leads and conversions. And when you create something on a topic like this that is of high value, there's a lot of market appeal. So that lends itself to the creation of those leads. And then conversions is a little bit of a trickier question, but we're going to get to that too. And it also allows you to conduct powerful testing. So at Vendasta, we have 6 customer use cases that we build most of our stuff around. And so what this allowed us to do is to test the use case that we weren't really advertising on before, which is the market use case. And we tested the lead generation conversation specifically against that use case. And what the results yielded is that is the right topic to address the market use case. So it's been a really great tool for us in that sense. And yeah, the whole nature of the Big Rock is that you want to be able to repurpose the content like leftover turkey. So the Big Rock, the big gated asset is the first step. And then from that, you can parse out dozens and dozens of other assets. So we're going to have about 42 blogs. We've already created 4 different videos, 3 for ad reels, 1 that's a lead generation keyword targeted video that we're going to be putting up on YouTube. We're going to be hosting a webinar yet. We have, I think, 1 infographic that Rory made me that I haven't publicized yet. And I guess we're doing kind of a slide presentation on it right now. So I guess that's something as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the Big Rock philosophy. So I'll pass it off to Trent here to talk about the relationship with ads.
Great, thanks. So I won't be as smooth talking as Brock because I'm pretty sure that guy practices talking to girls in front of the mirror every Friday night. So, but I'll give it my best shot here. So going into, oh, Brock, did you get rid of one of my slides? Oh, sweet. No, I don't know which one it is. Anyways, okay, yeah, sorry, Brock is sabotaging me. So what I wanted to talk about is kind of just 3 points to PPC, and one being, or 3 kind of strategies of what we formulated before launching this campaign. The first being, what type of ad do we want to run, whether it's an informational or a transactional ad, and I'll get into that. The second kind of strategy was, how can we maximize our value from this lead gen guide? So that was utilizing gated content lead gen forms on social media. And then the last thing was really choosing the right channel and knowing your audience. So which channel is going to give us the best bang for our buck? How are we going to get the highest quality audience, highest quality leads for the lowest cost? So going into the informational versus transactional, and I don't know if this is a thing or if this is something that I coined, but the informational type of ad is where you're offering value up front before you're asking something of them. So usually, so the informational ad is to the left, and then the transactional one is to the right. And in traditional advertising, and especially at Vendasta, we've been very heavy on transactional advertising. So that's kind of hitting the audience with a value prop and a general CTA of like either sign up for free at Vendasta today, or like, as you can see, start generating more monthly recurring revenue. And the actions and the goal of all of these transactional ads are to get that lead on a demo call as fast as possible. And while that's successful and it brings in a lot of high intent leads, it's not very scalable. As you can kind of see underneath, it's low volume, so we can't generate a lot of leads that way. It's higher cost, and that was kind of what Brock was talking to before, where our LinkedIn ads were generating like $280 cost per lead. So obviously that's not scalable even with budgets that we have here at Vendasta. But as I mentioned, those clients coming in or those customers coming in are higher intent because they're more further down the funnel. They're middle of funnel or bottom of funnel because they've requested a demo. And a lot of times they're lower quality. They don't really know much about Vendasta yet. They're still probably They still probably don't or haven't really set on one company or the other. So it's lower quality for the sales rep. And then the informational ad to the left is where we're offering maximum value right up front. We're offering a lot of value on what Vendasta is, a lot of value around a topic like this one being the lead generation. So what we've seen with the informational guides or informational ads is that we're getting high volumes at a very low cost. But the issue that we're seeing is that our conversion rate on these leads are very low because they're super high in the funnel, right? They aren't coming to us for a booked presentation or to try to get a presentation. They're coming to us just for information and the knowledge that we have on lead gen. But as well, what we've also been seeing is that these customers that are coming to us in these leads are much higher quality. You want to go to the next slide, Brock? And so the second kind of strategy and thing that we were thinking of before launching our campaign was how can we maximize value from this lead generation guide? And so you guys are all familiar with blogs and whatnot. And so anybody can go on our blog and read it for free without entering any information. But what we wanted to do with this huge investment that Brock put in is get as much value as possible. And so what we decided to do is create gated content for the lead generation guide. The graphic here to the right is what our landing page looks like right now. And so when somebody lands on the page to download the fundamental guide to lead generation, they click the download now button. And then the next page is an area that captures their information, not captures their information, that kind of sounds sinister, that grabs their information and signs them up for a free account. And then we can kind of start the conversation from there. So what creating gated contents for our lead generation or for this guide allows us to do, it allows us to capture that lead info. Like I said, it allows us to utilize website retargeting because now once they see this ad and they click our ad and go to our landing page, now we have the information about them on our page, and we can create remarketing campaigns around them to try to push them down further down the funnel. And it also allows us to control what the customer sees. So we can create a super tight landing page around that initial reason they came to us, being lead generation. So we can address all of the things how Vendasta can help them with lead generation through like marketing automations or personalized email campaigns, our snapshot report even. And then so the last slide. And so lastly, one of the things is deciding on what's the right channel. So with this lead gen guide, we're kind of going back and forth with launching a Facebook ad or a LinkedIn ad. We ended up doing both, but we put a way more significant effort or investment into LinkedIn, and we're just kind of toeing the water with Facebook. But the reason we chose LinkedIn ads to launch the lead gen guide or put a lot of efforts behind the LinkedIn ads with the lead gen guide is because LinkedIn ads and the LinkedIn platform, as you guys all know, is best for B2B. That's where business happens. And the targeting on LinkedIn is way more superior than with Facebook regarding being able to target businesses. You can target by the industry. You can even target and exclude by key decision makers. So obviously we don't want, for our advertisements, we might not want those ads to be served to people like me and Brock who have no kind of buying decisions, or we're not the decision makers for sure, right? So that we wouldn't want those ads to be served to those types of people. But with LinkedIn comes the downsides of usually higher cost per lead because you're getting a more higher quality customer, and it's usually low volume. It's harder to scale. And with Facebook ads, why we did decide to launch the campaign on Facebook at the end was the ability to get the most amount of reach for a lower cost. With Facebook, you can send your message to audiences of 2 million up, right? Very easily through their targeting parameters. It's also been proven to be the most cost effective for us here regarding lead generation. It's our channel that gives us our highest volume. So we didn't want to miss out on this higher volume, but lower quality of leads, as you can see the point there. And also a downside of Facebook is that there's lots of distractions. You have anything from memes to cat videos to political issues, right? You have a lot of distractions, whereas LinkedIn, you kind of are more focused on the business aspect. And I think that is, one more slide for you guys. So I wanted to kind of leave with just some overarching ad campaign creation tips, some few tips that I've picked up along the way, mostly just from learning from my mistakes. But one of the ways that I think about creating the ads is I think outcome based. So understand the specific outcome that people are looking for with your product and service. For me, a lot of what I see is that people really resonate with making more money, right? Sell more products, offer more software products, and you'll generate more money, right? Generate recurring revenue. And so when I'm designing my message, I'm not always thinking about what's like the bells and whistles or what's like a really cool feature. I want to get to the root of the peak of the person's interest being what's the number one outcome they're going to get from us. And that is one of the biggest ones is making more money. The second tip is you want to test your creatives and messaging against themselves. So I like to create at least 4 creatives and new messages for each ad campaign I run. So I like to make a kind of an assumption and then test those messaging and creatives and then see which of those assumptions is performs best, and then continuously testing assumptions and testing new creative on those successful ones. And the last tip, and this is one that I've always struggled with, is not over managing your ad campaigns. You kind of want to have diamond hands. You don't want to look at your campaign day after day by day and constantly changing the bid or pausing and turning it off because you're not seeing the results you like, or vice versa. You see the results you like and you jack up the spend and then it ends up ruining the algorithm. My rule of thumb is I like to usually wait about 2 weeks. For about Facebook and LinkedIn, I like to wait about 2 weeks in order to acquire enough data in order for me to make quantifiable and smarter decisions. With Google Ads, I like to wait usually a month, get a month worth of data before I make any real hard-hitting decisions there. So that was the last tip, is definitely one of the best tip that I would say, if you were going to take one away, get that one through to you guys, is just don't overmanage and don't overreact. I know it is your guys' hard-earned money that you are advertising with, but you're going to be way better off in the long run if you kind of just patiently wait for the data to collect and make smarter decisions that way. I think that's enough of my blurb. Back to Brock, I think.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to take you guys through just a few more syndication tactics here. And then I think I have like a little bonus round and a demo that I'm going to show you to cap things off. So first of all, what is content syndication? So I did a Google search and this was the featured result. And I don't really agree with this. Essentially, this is implying that it has to be something on a third-party site, like you're getting your content published on somebody else's site. That's not how I see content syndication. What content syndication is to me is basically all post-publish tactics you deploy that are essentially aimed at amplifying the reach of your content asset. So I have a bit of a checklist that I go through every time I publish a blog or a big rock or a guide, whatever the asset might be. So there's my always checklist, which are things that I'll do, whether it's like anything from a 400-word blog post all the way up to a 284-page guide. And then there's my sometimes checklist, which is more so reserved for the bigger guides, the bigger assets. So for my always, I always post on branded social media channels. So I make sure that we get at least 1 to 2 posts out on all of Vendasta's social. So that being LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook primarily. Not all content that we publish is best suited for Instagram, but those 3 platforms are essential. I also make sure and publish on Google My Business. This helps make sure your content gets indexed faster. So that's really valuable too. Plus you show up in that that featured results panel as well on Vendasta searches for, I can't remember, I think it's 2 days. So that's valuable too. And then there's posting on personal LinkedIn and Twitter. So this is a good way to just amplify that reach just a little bit further. I know my LinkedIn's home to a little bit of a different audience than what we hit with the entirety of Vendasta's. So that's definitely valuable. Plus your mom's way more likely to share your posts than one of your friends over the internet, right? The other thing is finding old content to link to the new content. So if you have really high performing blog assets that might have been published 1.5 years ago, but might pertain to the new topic. So for this lead generation guide, one thing that I've been working on this week is going back and tracking down those high performing blogs of ours that are generating a lot of traffic. They already have rank, and I'm inserting CTAs to download the guide, because that's going to amp up the conversion rate on that blog. And it's also going to funnel a lot of traffic right towards the guide download. So it'll be generating those leads for us. And then you always want to enlist internal advocates to post and share. So that's a bit easier for us here at Vendasta because we have a massive company, massive team. But it's always important to try and get your pals to help get the message out there when you publish new content, especially great content. One thing that we do here, so we use Slack for internal communications, and we have a blog amplification by sales Slack channel. So first thing we do when we publish a new asset is we post in there so that the sales floor is aware of the new content that we've put out, and then they can easily grab the link from there. And we usually write up posts for them as well. And then they can just post that right up on their LinkedIn or wherever it may be. So that really helps us amplify our reach. And then you can also post on bookmarking sites. So one of my favorites is Zest. I'm not sure if many of you guys have used Zest before. I use the Chrome plugin. It's a great place that you can just drop a URL. We always tag our URLs, but you can just drop a quick URL in there. And it's usually, my success rate's been about 50-50 with getting content published. But any of my content that has hit Zest is usually generating at least 50 to 150 clicks. So it's a good little way to amplify that reach a little bit more. And then obviously SEO is a big part of what we do in everything content here at Vendasta. So it starts with an early stage SEO strategy. So there's a ton of SEO research that went into this lead generation guide. First of all, surrounding the lead generation keyword. And what we're going to be able to do with all of these subsequent blogs that we're publishing is we're going to be able to target about 42 additional keywords. So those being those terms like social media marketing, email marketing, event marketing, and then the terms within those chapters as well. So Facebook ads is a huge keyword, LinkedIn ads is a huge keyword. So there's tons and tons of opportunity within each of those facets. And we've essentially built like a complete blog network around these keywords, and it's all going to funnel back to that main lead generation keyword, which is the highest authority keyword, and it's going to be the hardest to rank for. But if we do it right, come the end of 2021, I think that we're going to own that keyword, and we're going to own a lot of the other keywords in between. And it could really dramatically improve the traffic to our website in the process. So there's going to be a lot of ongoing keyword optimization going on there. We're going to be working really closely with our SEO guy, Tudor. So yeah, that's a big part of that strategy as well. So my sometimes tricks. So share in relevant groups and communities. So this is one that we did surrounding the lead gen guide. I have a friend who's a moderator on the SaaS Hackers Slack community, for example. So I got him to do me a favor and drop a link to this guy in one of the channels there. So I think we generated at least a few leads off of that, but just little tricks that can help you get a little bit of extra reach on big valuable assets like this one. And then running paid ads against the asset, which is obviously where we've seen the majority of our volume for leads coming off of this guy. So big thanks to Trent and big thanks to his budget for helping us make it happen. And then
it's all thanks to Vendasta's credit card.
Yeah. Daddy Jeff is keeping the boys going. So then we drafted an outbound email campaign as well. So this hasn't been launched yet, but we're going to be coordinating with our marketing projects team, which manages all of our email efforts. And they have a list, I think, of 28,000 accounts that they're going to be blasting outbound messaging surrounding the lead generation guide to. So we're really excited to see the results of that as well. Another trick is answering questions on Quora. So this might seem really monotonous, and it is. It's super monotonous. I think I've answered probably 110 questions over the past 3 years, most of them all original text. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But at the same time, one of my top answers has generated, I think, north of 50,000 views now, because it's actually ranking on a keyword term. And I think we have 3 attributable closes to that Quora answer. So there's a lot of value in this. You're digging for gold for sure. Like only one of those answers out of maybe 50 is going to hit for you, but the one that does might be worth all the effort. The other thing you might want to do is draft a Medium article or post. So we've seen some success here. The big benefit to writing on Medium is that it's a really high authority website. So this might be an additional rank factor for you. So one thing that we were able to do, so a blog that I created, I think it was 1.5 years ago, the keyword was white label business opportunities. So I published the original asset on the Vendasta blog, and we have claimed the top result and held it ever since. And we've generated a ton of traffic off that. That's one of our biggest lead generators on the content team. But what we also did, I rewrote essentially most of the article, published it on Medium, and then we claimed the third result on that search as well. So we were absolutely dominating the SERPs for that term. So we were just funneling traffic in from everywhere. The other thing you can do is create custom keyword targeted videos. So what we did with this lead generation guide is we worked with Ed, our videographer, and he shot, unfortunately, of me, my face on camera. Not ideal, not going to be the most marketable, but that's what we got to work with. So we shot a 3.5-minute video that's really value focused and is going to be aimed at targeting the lead generation keyword on YouTube. So our hope is that by the end of this year, we're going to own the lead generation keyword on Google and YouTube. So that's the idea there. And then obviously creating subsequent blog posts that link to the asset. So you're always going to want to do at least one blog post if you have a big gated asset like this, which is basically just a promo or hype post. And then it can be really valuable to plug in a bunch of other blogs too that target those subsequent terms or those conversations within the broader topic that you're trying to own. So now I'm going to jump into the bonus round here. So email is a nurture mechanism. I'm going to talk a bit about what we've done, Trent and I, and some of the other teams here at Vendasta, to really wire this all up and integrate all of our team's efforts together and make this as seamless of a process as possible. So email nurture really is the key. So Trent mentioned how a lot of these informational ads are generating really top of funnel leads. They're not as high intent as some of those lower in funnel conversion based ads. So the key to turning those tofu leads into sales ready accounts is really email nurture. But we took it a step further, and we're not just using email. We're working with the Conquer Local Academy team to provide an integrated email and academy experience. So we're really leaning on the academy to help really nurture these accounts and push them towards a stage where they might be more sales ready. So I'm gonna exit here and I'll show you guys what we did. So I'm gonna jump into our content library here. So first of all, I'm going to show you what our old download process looked like. And I'm sure many or most of you are probably pretty familiar with this. You guys have probably downloaded a few assets off of our site before. So you have to fill out generally a 5-field form like this. You click get the guide. It takes you to a page where you can access your content, or you can also jump off to the Conquer Local Academy and start a free sign-up process there. So if you click this link, it's going to open your public drive URL, same window. And this completion window here is also on the Vendasta URL. So you're still on the Vendasta site. You haven't left the site, but you can access your content easy enough. Like this is a good process. This is pretty classic, but we thought that we could do better. So we tried to level it up a bit. So what we did with the lead generation guide, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this firsthand too if you've downloaded it. And I'm going to explain to you why we did this. The why behind it all is really the magic here. All right, so what we did here is we made it a single click CTA. So we obviously leveled up the landing page formatting too, because those old landing pages just were not cutting it. They were looking pretty Windows XP, so we decided we'd up our ante a bit here. So new landing page template, which is great. You click the download now. Instead of providing or opening a form fill field, it takes you straight to a variation of our free sign up window. And it's customized around the lead gen guide, of course. So this is as simple as one click. You can just sign up with Google. So what this does in the background, so not only does it give you access to your content, but in the background, this is creating a free account for you in the Conquer Local Academy. So if you're a new prospect to Vendasta, you've just been created. Oh, and it took me into my dashboard. That's new. Okay, that's not where we were hoping to go. Interesting.
Yeah, wouldn't have been a Brock presentation without some technical difficulties. So you guys are getting the full experience.
I gave this presentation last week at Vision and Strategy, just part of it anyways, and completely botched it too. So come on, let's go. Apologies for the delay here. This is slow as hell. Interesting. So we might have a broken link here, but the idea is that, let me try this. Okay, here we go. So this is, I'm gonna have to check into that like 2 seconds after I'm done presenting because we might have a big issue on our hands. But this is the landing page you should arrive at after you fill out that completion action. So you can still download your guide here, but the difference is you've navigated to the Academy site and it's automatically created your free Academy login for you. So you now have a Conquer Local Academy account. So not only can you download your guide and access that public drive URL just the same, but if you're interested, you can also navigate straight into the free courses on the Conquer Local Academy, which is going to revolutionize the way that we can nurture these leads. So the subsequent part of this is the fact that we can run nurture in a different way than ever before. So when we used to run nurture campaigns, we generally direct prospects towards blog assets or other gated assets. But now what we can do through this sign up process is since they have a Conquer Local Academy login, we can send them direct links to Conquer Local Academy courses, and these prospects can click these course links and go straight to the window in the course. So if they receive an email like this from their auto-assigned salesperson, so that's the other thing that happens in the background is with each of these leads, they're auto-assigned a salesperson and they're automatically put on this drip campaign. So this is all wired up through auto-assign rules on Partner Center, which is super easy to set up. So yeah, they get auto-assigned their sales rep. This drip campaign is triggered and it lasts about 24 days. And then if they receive an email like this referring to the Master Sales Series, they click the link and it takes them right into the module. They can start their training right now. There's no sign-up process. There's no toil. It's absolutely frictionless. So we're super excited. It's early days so far in this campaign, but early performance is looking really, really optimistic. And I think this is really going to be the key to turning these top of funnel leads into bottom of funnel sales ready accounts. So on average, on our campaigns of Vendasta, our open rate generally clocks in around the 20% mark and our click-through rate around the 7%. So we're absolutely demolishing those metrics. So we're really excited for what's to come with this guy. But if I think that is about it for me. So yeah, open the floor to some questions. I went way long, so really, really sorry about that. But yeah.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Brock and Trent. Thanks, fellas, for putting that together. What does everybody think about this strategy? You know, we're being very, very open about what we're doing so that hopefully you can get some ideas and you can replicate something like this for your business. I'd be interested to hear if everybody has a few minutes. I know we're a little bit over time, but if you have a few minutes to stick around for a quick little discussion or Q&A. Would love to hear from folks. Are you using a strategy like this? How are you using it? Any questions for our guests for how you could potentially improve your strategy? Tim, I see that you unmuted there.
I have a question for Brock. I noticed you didn't mention anything about Google AdWords as part of your strategy. Is there a reason for that?
I'll maybe give this one to Trent.
No, I don't want to ask Trent.
Yeah, Trent doesn't really know anything, so yeah.
I want to ask Brock.
So we haven't done any Google ads yet. We talked about it, and it might be in the plans over the next month here. So obviously, yeah, that would be a quick way that we could get on the lead generation keyword term and potentially start driving some traffic there. So some further discussion needs to be made. We're not sure if that's going to come out of our content budget or the PPC budget. So yeah, there's some decisions to be made there, but we're definitely thinking about Google ads as well.
I'm going to add on to that. So with the Google ads, if we're targeting kind of the keywords that this guide is targeting, so lead generation, I don't know, like Facebook, all those different keywords that are in this kind of blog, we would be getting a lot of SMBs, like lead generate or like generating or creating Facebook social media strategy or Instagram social media strategy. Like that's a pretty heavy theme for SMBs, and which obviously aren't our customers. So that's also one of the reasons, just because with Google ads, we know by using those keywords that we would have to advertise for this blog, we would be getting a lot of unqualified audiences. So that's why we kind of stuck with Facebook and LinkedIn, because we can target a specific audience, being marketing agency industry.
Yeah, like the lead generation keyword term itself is very B2B focused because it's very B2B in nature, right? So if you're a small business, you're not thinking about lead generation, it's more customer acquisition, right? Like lead generation isn't the term that you use. So there's value in that term, but the concern is in lots of the other terms that we're targeting subsequently within the guide.
Mm-hmm.
Got it, thanks.
Yeah, you really need to think about what people are searching for and who the folks that you want to get in front of, what they're specifically searching for. That could be kind of tricky, because we're always inside of our head. We're always talking technical terms, eh? Oh yeah, it's just, reducing vendor clutter. Like how many of your clients are just like, I have a big problem with vendor clutter. Can you please help me with that? I would be surprised if somebody said, somebody came to them with that specific problem. One thing, go ahead, Wendy.
Hey, I just wanted to, jump into, like, you guys are always putting out great content. We're honestly, here's my philosophy. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. If somebody who has the dollars to back up the research is putting out something great that I can take and spin for myself and utilize it for my content. So that's one of the things that we do, is we're going to take, and follow the lead a lot of times on some of the people who are doing some amazing things with the content that we know are coming up, because research, we all know, is 90% of what we're going to be putting out. So, you guys are always doing this, and I, for one, we use it, and thank you.
Love it. I appreciate that feedback, Wendy, and I can tell Brock is pretty excited about that. One thing that sticks out to me that I want to mention, and maybe we can talk about this another time, but even to get people thinking about, how do you take one piece of content, for example, doing a webinar, and how do you make it more evergreen? How do you turn it into a piece of content or multiple smaller pieces of content that you turn into blog, that you turn into posts on social media, that you turn into blog posts? Sometimes I see folks who are investing a lot of time and energy, and just like Wendy said, the research portion can be pretty intense, and you want to get that information right. And so you invest a lot of this time, but you don't, but it may not be used in all the ways that Brock and Trent discussed and presented to us today. So I guess my challenge to everybody is, think about, one, creating the content, but then how are you going to amplify that? And what are you going to do over time? What is your nurture campaign? What is the next step? How are you going to keep that happening? It also reminds me of, the Dennis Yu think tanks, where Dennis, he talks about, creating that asset library, right? That mentions library, so that you can constantly be going back to all of those amazing things that people said about your business, said about you, all of those awesome posts that performed really well, so that you can revive them. And I see him specifically, Dennis, commenting on a lot of his old posts, and bringing back a lot of those great things that were mentioned, that were posted before. So that's something I wanted to mention, and just make sure that we're always thinking about not just creating the content, but making it perform over time. Thomas McMillan, what were you sharing there? Downloaded the guide? Oh, you're on mute, Thomas.
I literally opened up an app, and there's the there's the sponsored ad for the.
So we're thinking about it too much. Get it out of your brain.
Question.
Apple's listening.
Yeah. Go ahead, Robert. Let's do one question, then maybe we'll wrap it up. But go ahead, Robert.
Great. So I was taking notes earlier on, and Trent, when you had the slide up that showed the informational ad, that's pretty. It's like for mostly the people are going to be kind of top of funnel because they're kind of in that awareness stage. The landing page that you have for the actual lead generation piece, you have the call to action. When they click on it, you're going right into create an account. Now we know the link is broken, Brock. Because I went through it myself, and here it is. I've got another Partner Center account, and I've already gotten an email from a sales rep. I had to tell them, kill the account. Do you think it's, for me just starting out with these types of strategies, do you think it's wise for me to have an informational ad and then go right to sign up for an account, or should it be just collect the email and a first name and put them into some sort of email drip afterwards?
Yeah. So Brock can also address this one too, but I kind of misled you guys. I didn't mean to, but with LinkedIn, there's actually an ad format you can do and it's what we did, this lead gen form. So once you would click, and I have it pulled up and you guys can't see it, but once you would click that CTA of download that fundamental guide, all that information right on LinkedIn for that lead gen guide gets auto-populated based on that person's information. So their email, their phone number, their first name, company name, all that stuff's auto-populated. Super easy to capture the information, right? Like they don't have to click anything or they don't have to type anything. All they hit is submit. And then after they hit submit for the LinkedIn ad, the next kind of page in that lead gen form is the download just to get the PDF, not to go to the platform. With Facebook ads, we're running them to the platform again, getting them to sign in. But with that lead gen form, it's exactly what you're kind of asking. It's like, should I just grab their information and get them on a drip? And I think, Brock, do you want to address that part of it?
Yeah, sure. So that's after they fill out the LinkedIn form, the other thing that we're doing, so we're still getting them on that drip campaign. We're just not generating that sign up right away. But automatically, once they're uploaded to Partner Center, we have that drip campaign set up with another auto assign rule so that any leads tagged as coming from the lead generation guide, as the LinkedIn leads would, are automatically assigned to that drip campaign and assigned a sales rep. So though they don't have direct sign-in access to the Conquer Local Academy, it's a slightly different drip campaign. They're still going to receive the same promotions, but they'll have to sign up for the Academy on the first Academy email. So that's the process there. We're kind of testing both ways to see which yields better results, and then we'll make probably a definitive decision going forward based from that.
And to kind of add on to that, from a marketer's perspective, if they just download our lead gen guide, me and Brock don't really think it's in the best interest for like sales, and Robert, this might be what you're alluding to, like sales to immediately get on the phone, like, hey, you downloaded a guide. Here's a link for a presentation. Like, can I have your credit card right now? Sign this contract, right? You definitely want to get them on that nurture because it's just, they're top of funnel, like you said, they're high quality, but you don't want to burn them with like a pushy sales call right off the bat. So it's like, definitely get them on that nurture, give them a bit more information, and you can just tailor all that information around that problem they have, which is lead generation. So then it's like, here's a little bit more about Vendasta. Here's a little bit more about how our platform can help you solve your lead generation issues. So, but we're just marketers, so we're not sales guys, so we can't control them.
I love it. And as you could tell, Brock and Trent, Trock, they like to have some fun. you know, and they're a lot more than just a couple of 24-year-old guys just winging it. You know, obviously there's a method behind their madness, and we like to have fun over here. So, you know, really big thank you to you guys for joining. And you know, these strategies that we talked about today, you know, you can do very similar strategies right in the platform with your clients, right? We have the acquisition widget, and then from the acquisition widget, you can create the account and you can activate those express products right away. You can get them on a drip campaign. You can auto assign to a sales rep. You know, you can be doing these strategies right in the platform as well. So I would encourage you to check out all of those features and reach out to your Vendasta rep if you have any questions. So, you know, and with that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this week. I hope you found some value. I know I did. I learned something from Brock and Trent today. And so be sure to check out that guide, download the guide. Also want to give a shout out to my other favorite one, the Why Your Clients Churn. That churn guide as well. That one's really good, timeless information for how to reduce churn and increase monthly recurring revenue. So thanks again to our presenters. Congratulations, Naresh, on the launch at 24/7. Looking forward to chatting with you next week. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe, keep well, and we'll see you in the community.